Viewers, what a day it's been in court. Historic hearing and an interim order of sorts. Indeed, viewers, a fight by 6 hijab-wearing girls in an Udupi college has now been hijacked by hardliners. There's now enough evidence to show that there's an ongoing, well-orchestrated, persistent and nationwide bid to radicalize. Yes, viewers, I'm going to underline this word, radicalize Muslims, especially women, and weaponize their symbols of identity, like the hijab. The surreptitious plot is having its effect, and it's all too visible, viewers. Young women who don't even know what they are demanding are shouting, "Pehle hijab, fir kitab." Everyone, viewers, is doing a somersault. Large number of Latvians activists that had railed against the hijab are today supporting it. International icons of Muslim female emancipation are today supporting the hijab with specific reference to India. What's the glue? What has suddenly brought them together to do this somersault? Viewers, I can only think it is a desperate political ploy to malign the nation and to pit young, aspirational Muslim women against their government. Viewers, for a while now, a large number of Muslim women in the country were beginning to think that the Modi administration had been doing a good job of protecting their rights. Viewers, I don't want to list all that has been done because people will say that I am biased, etc. I am speaking up for or in favor of one particular government over the other. So let me also then tell you that other governments ruled by the left, like the Kerala government, has also, in fact, viewers, recognized that hijab comes in the way of equality. And they allowed very much and agreed very much when the Muslim Educational Society in Kerala decided to ban the hijab for 150 schools, both in the country and also in the Middle East. Yes, viewers, amidst all of this, amidst all these positive moves, what has brought the clock back to a regressive beginning? Viewers, young girls who can't distinguish at this moment between what is good for them and what isn't. And I'm not being patronizing. There's a reason why we don't, for example, give the right to vote to those under the age of 18, because we know that they're still very impressionable, that they need to have had the experience, the education to make up their mind. It is this group today, viewers, that is being hijacked, brainwashed into believing that their religion is under attack. And the only way they can protest this is by donning the hijab. Viewers, it breaks our heart, because this is precisely what happened when the mullahs in Iran got hold of emancipated women and used them as a tool to overthrow the political establishment in the late 70s and establish, as you know, viewers, a very, very conservative state. 2 years ago, viewers, women in Iran realized that they had been used and made fools of. And they stood, viewers, in protest, taking off their hijabs, throwing them to the ground. But they were sentenced, viewers, to 20, 25 years in prison, where they languish even today. Some were shot dead. Viewers, we don't want to go into that past. We don't want hard-won freedoms, whether it is for Hindu women or Muslim women, to be taken away, snatched back. Luckily, the High Court, in the interim, and one hope it continues, has restored some sense. A larger bench of the Karnataka High Court, in its wisdom, has decided to prioritize education. The protesting school students have been asked to return to class, but sans the headscarf, at least till Monday. In fact, viewers, to ensure equality in the classroom, the court has said that no overtly visible religious symbols of any faith will be allowed back into the class. The uniform is supreme, at least till Monday, when the matter, of course, will be once again heard, and we are being told that there will be daily hearings. Viewers, let me very quickly take you over 5 videos, and they will come up on your screens, these 5 videos. These 5 videos reveal the extent some hardliners have plotted behind the scenes, viewers, to make the young women feel that their identity and personage is under threat from an unseen and imaginary Hindutva adversary. Viewers, the first provocation came from a political party. The AIMIM put up posters in Beed district of Maharashtra. What did these posters say? These posters say, "Pehle hijab, fir kitab." That is what the Taliban says daily. That is what Malala Yousafzai fought against. Viewers, it's shocking. To score a few political points, to win a few votes, a party could have regressed to this. Viewers, let me tell you that these particular posters have been owned up on Times Now by a leading leader, local leader of the AIMIM. It's not only this, there's another provocation. Armed outsiders hijack the protests. 5 to 6 men supporting hijab backers had lethal weapons like machetes. They brandished these machetes, endangered lives through viewers, all decorum to the wind, and chanted all sorts of incendiary religious slogans. The two of these accused, you can see their faces on your screens, have been arrested at the site, and they have criminal antecedents. They had infiltrated. They had begun to radicalize through their speech. Viewers, I'll look at provocation 3. Stone pelters were also drafted. Unknown men attacked the police and saffron-clad protesters, at least in one district of the state. The fourth provocation, the Campus Front, which is the student wing of the Popular Front of India, viewers, they met certain activists, especially that lady on your screens. The Jamaat-e-Ulema gave her a 5 lakh reward for shouting Allahu Akbar back at those horrific individuals who decided to picket her. I mean, that was not on. But we should not also, viewers, reward a reaction. Gandhiji wouldn't have done so, he would have turned his other cheek. Nonetheless, viewers, there's another provocation. And that comes from mainstream political party and a mainstream political leader, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who says a bikini, a ghungat, jeans or hijab, women can decide. And they should be allowed to wear whatever they feel like wearing. When, viewers, the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Mr. Gehlot himself, has begun a campaign in his state 2 years ago against the ghungat, viewers. His party leader today, wanting to strike common cause with Muslim voters, is advocating going back to the age of ghungats. Malala Yousafzai, the college, she said, is forcing us to choose between studies and hijab. That's the sixth provocation. Indian leaders stop the marginalization of Muslim women when she sits abroad, viewers, after having been shot, unfortunately, by those obscurantists in Pakistan for resisting wearing the hijab. Viewers, today, abroad, she says, it's a bad imposition. Women feel like shuttlecocks, that they're imprisoned in a shuttlecock. Now, viewers, why are these people today going against everything they have stood for? At least some of them, especially the last 2 or 3. That's the fundamental question. The effects of this insidious and poisonous campaign has had some very troubling effects. Now, I want you to listen very carefully to how these young girls today can no longer tell the difference between a regressive practice and what's good for them. Listen to this, viewers.
No one is forcing me to do this. This is my choice and this is my right, and I want this my right.
हम हिजाब को नहीं छोड़ सकते. हिजाब हमारा दीन पर है और we need हिजाब.
We were like पहले से हम लोग wear कर रहे हैं. जब हमारा problem आया तो तब उनको याद है कि they can wear that shawl. Before that they did not have that. ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ಒಪ್ಪಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕದರಲ್ಲ.
Viewers, Deepak Bopanna, who has been covering this on the ground, this entire protest also caught up with another set of young women protesters. Most of them were students. And this is what they had to say. Let's play that out. Okay, I'm being told 5 seconds by the director. We're going to try and get those for you, viewers. But this will also shock you a little bit. Let's play it out.
Priority, education is secondary. This is our first priority. Priority, education is secondary. This is our first priority. Than education. And we will wait. Than education. And we will wait. Article 14 says we have right to wear. Article 14 says we have right to wear. We have right to speak. We have right to speak. We have right to speak.
Let me go straight across to Varis Pathan. We also have Monica Arora, Nikhat Abbas, trustee of the Sri Roshni NGO, Sanjay Jha, suspended Congress leader, who had said yesterday to me, mark my words, Rahul Shivshankar, you will have to eat your words because the courts will go against what you have been suggesting and you will be looking silly, you'll have egg on your faces, and the others who are supporting you in this endeavor. Yes, sorry, Sanjay Jha, you were saying something? I couldn't hear you. I think you're on mute, Sanjay Jha. Please unmute yourself. I can't hear you, sir.
What I told you yesterday, Rahul, was that the court might go against position that people took on the show, and we still don't know what they're going to pass on Monday.
Well, let me tell you, sir.
I wasn't trying to cut the judges.
I know that Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday are yet to dawn. But let me tell you today, sir, when very, very expansive, and you know, you've probably been following Times Now through the day, expansive arguments were made seeking an interim stay, and the demand was made to set aside the government order, the GO. The courts have not done that. In fact, what have the courts done? This is what they have said for now, the bench at least. Ready to decide at earliest, but must restore peace and tranquility till our order restrain anyone from wearing any religious clothes. It's not conducive. It's just a matter of few days. Please cooperate. We understand, but they weren't going to give an interim order which would have given the same lobby bragging rights. They said that cannot happen. We are going to uphold the principle of the uniform. Nobody can in fact enter this college, especially the classrooms, forget the college, the classrooms, wearing any overt symbol of their, it's very important, of their religiosity views. That is what the bench has said.
Including the saffron shawl. Why
I know, I'm
that?
saying, I've said that. Nobody, cutting across. Because we can't have chaos in this country, and that's why they emphasize peace. So I want to ask today a very straight question of Advocate Varit Pathan, to begin with him, because his party said, pehle hijab, fir kitab. Sir, High Court ने तो बोला है पहले किताब for now. Monday तक तो यही है. Monday तक तो यही है, sir. Can I ask you, sir, why is today the AIMIM, which calls itself a party that looks after Muslim interests, sounding like the Taliban?
You are wrong. Your point is baseless, and I condemn it. You should also take back the words which you have said, that we are sounding like Taliban and all. We follow the constitution. We live in a democratic country. So using these kinds of words, I would call this unparliamentary word. Now coming back to the topic, the High Court has referred the matter. They will be arguing. The further arguments will be done on Monday. Let the matter be decided. Sir, till then the matter is sub judice. We will argue on that. Our point was simple, Rahul.
Sir, no. I want to ask you, this poster that you put up. Sir, the poster that you put up in Maharashtra's Beed district. Please, sir.
I am not aware of that.
Why aren't you aware of it, sir? Your very senior leader came on this channel and conceded that he had put it up.
I am not aware.
How are you not aware, sir?
Yeah.
Today, aaj aap, sir, patli gali se nahi nikliye. Today, face up to what your party does. You speak in two different voices. When you sit on an English channel, you wear your suit, sir, and you sound like a very cosmopolitan personality. But on the ground, आप कुछ और ही बात करते हैं. मैं आपको पोस्टर दिखाता हूँ, आपके चैनल पे चल रहा है. देखिए आप. You can see the channel, you are seeing it. It's there.
Studios, our points are simple.
No, I'm asking you, why is it that today, the poster that you put up, sir, and it's there, right before your eyes, the poster that your party put up is being endorsed by the Taliban, sir. And it sounds exactly like what the Taliban would say. So I'm asking you, sir, why are you today wanting a Talibani inquisition against Indian Muslim women? Simple question, Mr. Pathan.
Now saying that the GO which is issued by the Karnataka government is unconstitutional, is it Talibanic? Saying that it is a violation of the constitution, Article 14, 15, 19, 21 and 25. We said Puttaswamy's judgment is surpassed by the Karnataka government, which says that choice of freedom. We say that wearing hijab is an essential part of our religion. Why should we not wear? And what is the harm if the girls wear hijab? What is the harm? The FIFA allows them to play football wearing hijab. The International Basketball Association allows the girl to
I'll bring you
play basketball.
I need to respond here.
Nigat Abbas wants to also come in. Monica Arora also wants to come in.
What is the harm?
Let's ask Nigat Abbas what is the harm.
When you
Everybody
refer
has
to
a right to
Taliban,
practice his own
Rahul,
One second. Monica ji, 1 second.
the gentleman takes offense.
One
Why do
second.
you go to Taliban, Afghanistan, Pakistan? I am talking about my constitution.
Sir,
I am
if
talking
your
about the
constitution says
we
right to
remain
choose.
on Taliban.
You may talk
Okay.
about Afghanistan, Pakistan,
The
Kenya.
girl-
Okay, please, let's not speak over each other.
I don't worry about those people. I am worried about my constitution.
वो कहती है तालिबान
Yeah.
से डर नहीं लगता साहिब, भारत की इस्लामी लेफ्ट सिस्टम से डर लगता है. It's the Taliban. That girl in Afghanistan, she can go on the road and say मुझे बुर्का नहीं पहनना है, मुझे अपनी ड्रेस पहननी है. वो तालिबान को, she can face Taliban, she cannot face your toolkit gang. And look at this gang. PFI जैसे terror orgs, they brainwash the girls. They counsel the girls. Jamaat-e-Islami comes forward to fund these girls. In 2-3 days time, that entire book is ready for the court. That is there. They have all the provisions. They have the High Court, Supreme Court judgments. Then they file cases. The cases get listed in Corona times when matters are not getting listed. Day-to-day hearings.
Okay, Monica Arora, 1 second.
Senior advocates in the High Court.
I want to first bring in
the Supreme Court. You have the funds, you have the teams, and what you are is not the girls.
Okay, we're having a few audio problems with Monica Arora. Your line is dropping, ma'am. We are going to fix it in 30 seconds. 1 minute. Advocate Waris Pathan, please listen to Nikat Abbas. She's a trustee of Sri Roshni NGO. He says we are not sounding like the Taliban. Nikat, we are not sounding like the Taliban, Miss Abbas, he says.
Thank you.
Can you tell him? Can you tell him?
I want to clearly tell Waris Pathan that there are 5, Rahul, I want your viewers and our viewers to know this, that there are 5 basic principles of Islam: Shahada, Zakat, Salat, Saum and Hajj, and where hijab, niqab, burqa is nowhere a part of it. So this is clearly being forced. This is clearly being forced onto the girls to dominate them. Now, this is not going to stop here. The opposition is going to bring in more. And they are going to force this, like they would want to have a separate room for namaz in the school. They would want to have a halal canteen in the school wherein they can be served mutton and chicken. They would not want to have a holiday on Sundays but on Fridays. They would also say that we would need a leave for a month, for the month of Ramzan. And lastly but not least, they would also say that stop the kafirs from coming to these schools because that makes us impure. That is exactly what's going to happen in the future. This will be carried forward, I must tell you. There are so many girls out there in the Islamic countries. We have a secular nation. I'm talking about the Islamic countries. I'm talking about the countries like Afghanistan, where girls are fighting for their rights. They're going to jail because they do not want to wear niqab, hijab and burqa. And see what we are doing here. We're forcing our girls, women, sisters, mothers to wear the burqa in such heat. We are asking them to attend the weddings wearing burqa. We're telling them to take care of the kids being so uncomfortable wearing the burqa. We're doing everything just for the women, telling them to do everything and not the man of the society. Is this how are we going to lead for a developed nation? Is this what we're fighting for? We're not today fighting for the Muslim education, Muslim girls' education, but that they should be wearing hijab, niqab and burqa. People from AIMIM should be ashamed of themselves, telling the girls not to think about their education but burqa. Is this what our country wants? Is this what a Muslim community wants? No. I would like to ask Waris Pathan that if they do not want to follow the constitution of a school, will they allow me to break the constitution of a madrasa by not asking me or forcing me to wear a niqab, hijab or burqa in the madrasa? I would want to go with the loosened hair and, Western outfit in the madrasa. Would the Maulvis not stop me? I want to ask today from Waris Pathan that why do you not want to break the constitution, protocol and faith of the madrasa but of the other education institutions? Is this fair? No. This is a dominating factor which they want to lead on. Clearly, Waris Pathan and people like Waris Pathan want to take over the charge of the girls, of the ladies, and they want to, they literally want them to drive with that dominating factor. I do not want to be driven that way. I do not want my community's girls to not take these studies over their hijab, niqab and burqa. This is a driven agenda of the opposition to create ruckus in the country, to create a Hindu-Muslim, they want to create a Hindu-Muslim agenda in the society. They want to literally brag down the Muslim girls and not let them study.
Well,
they are giving the character certificate to the Muslim girls, telling if you are not wearing a burqa, niqab or hijab, you do not come from a good family. They are literally making us fear that we are not from a good family if we are not wearing a burqa or a hijab. They are not letting girls get married to better families who have a modern perspective. That's what I'm standing against at, and not hijab and burqa. I don't have a problem with that. Wear hijab, wear burqa, wear niqab, but at your homes or any other place, but not school. You can't break the uniformity, which is equals to equality in the school. Nobody is representing any kind of caste system or religion system there. What we're representing there is our careers. That is what matters. I want the girls of my community to become doctors, nurses, go in army, navy, and everywhere, but not in the system of burqa, because that is, dropping us down from the level of achievement. That is their strategy, and that is what I'm standing against at.
Well, let me bring in Mr. Pathan. Mr. Pathan, some very, very valid points made. And let me also ask you, sir.
Allow her to go.
No, because why? You don't have an answer tonight. You don't have an answer tonight.
When you are allowing a co-panelist to go on for 10 minutes, I have full answers.
आप दीजिए full answers दीजिए
for half an hour, 1 hour without interruption.
आप दीजिए sir, answers दीजिए.
आप बोलने नहीं देंगे और बोलने देंगे सामने वाले को, और मेरे को क्या बेवकूफ समझाए क्या हमको?
आप बोलिए सर,
आप बोलने तो
खुल के बोलिए.
आप चुप बैठ के सुनो.
आपने तो पोस्टर पे
को उतना ही बोलो जितना सुनने की ताकत है.
पठान साहब, आपने तो पोस्टर पे प्रिंट कर दिया है.
किसने किया? चलो
आपका व्यू.
सबसे पहला मेरा क्वेश्चन, शी यूज दिस वर्ड फोर्स. इन्होंने 50 मरतबा वर्ड यूज किया फोर्स. हु हैज फोर्स द गर्ल टू वेयर हिजाब? कम ऑन, टेल मी, हु फोर्सेस द गर्ल टू वेयर हिजाब? इफ माय डॉटर वांट्स टू वेयर a hijab, it is her choice. If my daughter does not want to wear a hijab, it is her choice. Choice of freedom, that is why put to job.
Can I say something?
Hijab फिर किताब. ये कहीं ना कहीं वारिस पठान जी, this is a forceful agenda that the girls of the Muslim community would be given books only when you wear a hijab. Otherwise, tell me what do you mean by पहले hijab फिर किताब? सीना पहले किताब फिर hijab. The priority should be education.
Okay.
The priority should be their careers. The priority should be their achievement. The priority should be the women's empowerment. And what you're prioritizing right now is burqa. What you're prioritizing right now is the clan which is wearing a hijab for a purpose. And the purpose is to downtrodden the girls to society in this
Nobody
community.
wants to listen to your parents. कुछ भी बोलेगी, बोलने दो. बैठ के सुनने वाला नहीं है मैं. She has shown yesterday. The girl has shown the entire world.
Look at the kind of way he's talking, Rahul.
Well, he's exposing himself.
When on a national television,
He's exposing himself.
This tone.
He's exposing himself. What can I say?
Women of his own house. In a
He's exposing himself. You see, they won't take a basic question. They won't take a basic question from me tonight. And that question is, वारिस भाई, मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाह रहा हूं. वारिस भाई, I want to ask you a small question. Don't get so irritated.
Listen to the answer, yeah.
So listen, I'm asking you a question. You can respond to me at length. I'll give you 10 minutes. Let me ask you the question. Will you allow me? Will you allow me to ask you the question?
I will answer.
Okay.
I will answer.
So can I pose the question? Can I pose it? Sir, आप Constitution उठा रहे थे अभी.
Pose it.
You were showing the Constitution. You are a believer in Dr.
बाजू में रखता हूं.
Yeah, you are a believer in. Yes, you're a believer in Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. You are somebody who really respects Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. I'm going to read out what Mr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar had to say about body coverings. He said, Muslims have all the social evils of the Hindus and something more. That something more is the compulsory system of parda for Muslim women. As a consequence of the parda system, a segregation of the Muslim women is brought about. These burqa women walking in the street is one of the most hideous sights one can witness in India. Such seclusion cannot but have its deteriorating effects upon the physical constitution of Muslim women. They are usually victim to anemia, tuberculosis and pyorrhea. Their bodies, because of this, face several physical deformities. And he goes on and on and on. The parda deprives Muslim women of mental and moral nourishment. And it goes on and on and on. When you say in your posters, pehle hijab, fir kitab, then, sir, you are making it compulsory. If you are making it compulsory, sir, then do you agree with Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, or do you think that he's a bigot? Tell me, sir.
Is Bhimrao Ambedkar also said is desh ko khatra Hindu rashtra se hoga. Bhimrao Ambedkar also said that.
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
What we are seeing is that every day it is happening in our country.
आप भीमराव अंबेडकर ने जो हिजाब पे बोला, आप उस पे क्या कहना चाहेंगे? He is the father of our constitution, sir.
Saffron flag. That is what we are seeing every day. When right to practice religion is my essential right. I have followed the constitution.
I am just asking you, sir. मैंने एक सिंपल सवाल पूछा. Civics lesson नहीं चाहिए. Do you agree with Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar on the...
and go to school and colleges.
Sir,
why should we not wear a hijab?
Do you agree with Bhimrao Ambedkar on this particular garment? Yes or no?
Don't agree with Bhimrao Ambedkar. Agree. You agree with Bhimrao Ambedkar that this desh ko nuksan Hindu rashtra se hoga.
Sir, I agree. I agree on anything that is not. I agree on anything that is not promised in our constitution, sir, as of date.
To destroy the
I have the guts to say it. Do you have the guts to say it?
Yes.
Do you have the guts to say it? You don't have the guts to say it.
You are not talking about.
You are not going to say that Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar belongs to the same group of nationalist Hindutva people. You will not say that. You will not accuse him of being bigoted.
I have the guts to say that I believe in the constitution given to me by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar.
And
but
sir,
the BJP, RSS,
and sir, and that constitution empowers.
They are always
okay. Varis Pathan, itne garam kyun ho rahe hain? Relax.
Constitution empowers me
relax,
to make
relax.
my point. It is my fundamental right.
I want to bring in...
Nobody is forcing me.
Okay, no one is forcing you except your party is forcing Muslim women. Let me bring in Shazia Ilmi. Shazia Ilmi, what does this mean? Pehle hijab, fir kitab. जो असदुद्दीन साहब की पार्टी आज पोस्टर्स पे चिपका के लेडीज को कह रही है. Can you tell me what this means? Does this leave room for choice, Shazia Ilmi?
No. I think it's the most deplorable thing that I've heard, the slogan I've ever heard. And I think anybody who utters it or thinks about it has very little to do with Quran or Islam or with rights of anybody, either gender or a particular group or community. Firstly, I would like to say that a whole lot of us have fought this with great difficulty, who within a generation have tried to kind of rebel against hijab and seek that kind of freedom for ourselves when it comes to public spaces and carve out our own paths. And I think by the very fact that Owaisi ji has said so loudly and emphatically by calling Muskan Khan a hero and glorifying her is like denigrating and abusing all those younger other Muslim girls and women who in small hamlets and small towns who have stepped out and have tried to fight against the system and get into the system somehow and mainstream themselves and get education. I think is this kitab. And it's very sad. And if he knows anything about the Quran, which obviously he does not, because do you remember, Rahul ji, that they were the people in the parliament who opposed the instant triple talaq bill? If they knew anything about the Quran, they would not have done that, because Quran clearly forbids that. Talaq-e-biddat is not part of the Quran. So their agenda is to fight against the BJP, even if they have to go against the Quran. So let me tell you, let me finish. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. No, 30 seconds. 30 seconds all I want. No. Bharatji, 30 seconds is all I
also
speak.
had
30
she been
seconds is
there
all I...
and she would have
30 seconds is
faced
all I
the
speak.
sloganeering of the
Bharatji,
30,
30 seconds is all I
people
speak.
who came
Have
with
some
the
decency,
saffron
sir.
shawl
Because I
and
called
were
you out.
shouting slogans.
Because I called you
I
out
would
on
have
your
praised
lack
her.
of knowledge.
I would have glorified
and
her
your lack
as well.
of knowledge or
Please,
commitment to
don't try to
Muslims
divide
or
this between
Quran
Hindu
or
and Muslim.
women.
What
That's
she
the
has
reason
done,
why you are
what
not
she
able
has
to
done,
speak.
appreciate it.
No.
What she did,
You are the one
appreciate
who
it.
are associating as hijab with Hindu. No, we all know your agenda.
Had you done that, I would have praised you.
Known.
Had you
Please
done that, I would have praised you.
good Muslims.
Facing a mob of 30,
So
40
that is a
people
fact.
when you're alone and you are
the fact
coming
of the
there,
matter
sloganeering
is,
and
why
standing
are
there
you
and shouting
glorifying
Allahu
Abbas
Akbar
Khan?
is
Because
also
you associate
a sign
that
of
as an
courage.
act of a good
You
Muslim,
must show that
as
courage.
opposed
Any
to,
of my sister would have done that, I would have
why are you
praised her.
pushing this religious
Why
identity
are you dividing
for your
Muslims into
electoral
Muslims?
gain, sir?
Is praising
But
a girl.
this is a school.
Praising a girl is an offense.
A school is a school is a
Showing
school.
that she showed
It's
courage
the second unit of
is an
conditioning.
offense.
And
Banned.
home is where
Showing
they imparted
courage is
culture
banned.
and religion.
Whether
Let the schools
school,
be
compound,
free
road, anywhere
of
street,
your toxic
somebody shows this
influences
kind of
and stop
courage,
using
it
women's
must be
bodies.
appreciated,
Stop
madam, it
brainwashing
must be
young
appreciated.
girls. Stop weaponizing women's bodies for your political Islamization.
Okay.
Who is using?
Islam is different from
Who is
Islamization.
using?
And this is what you're doing.
You talk about
And
the
I will not
Constitution.
allow
Have
you to
read
do
the
that because
Swami
some of us
judgment?
have paid the
Do you
price.
know what the judgment
And it was
speaks
very
for?
painful.
You know the Constitution,
Rahul, I
Article
would like to bring to you.
21-29. You know
I
about
can't
that.
speak like this.
And what is the
Well,
harm?
he's not going to allow.
That's why he's speaking over
He
me.
tried to shout
We all know
down
that.
Nikhat
We all know
Abbas.
that.
If somebody wears a hijab.
Dekhe, he's not going to allow you to speak. He shouted down Nikhat
That's
Abbas
because you don't have an
also.
answer.
Because I try to shout
Yeah,
down.
If he had the agency, he would have put a burqa on your head right now.
Yeah, because
And muzzled you. And muzzled you. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Your head, I would have put.
Yeah, you can, sir. Why don't you wear one first yourself?
No.
आप बड़े इक्वल बनते हैं.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
राइट टू इक्वालिटी आप इतने प्रमोट करते हैं तो आपको भी पहनना चाहिए. Anyhow, Sanjay Jha, let me ask you a basic question.
Equal rights.
Sure.
Okay, Sanjay Jha, let me ask you a couple of basic questions. Sir, we are talking about choice and the right to exercise choice. Sir, what choice does a 12 or a 13-year-old have? One. Two.
Exactly.
Two. I want to ask you another specific question. And it's a question that has struck me as one that is pertinent. Which part of the statement issued by Malala Yousafzai do you agree with? The one that she tweeted out yesterday or day before yesterday, or the one in which she describes, much like Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, the deleterious effects of a hijab on her own psyche? Which one do you back? Two questions, sir. Two
Okay.
questions.
Yeah. My very short answer. The matter, as talk we all know, is sub judice. I hope that the Karnataka High Court will pass a verdict on Monday. And promise me, Rahul, irrespective of which way the verdict goes, because either the petitioners will claim victory or the government will, please call the same panel back on the program, and I promise you, I will be there. That's my guarantee too. Okay? But I think at the moment, there seems to be this Pyrrhic celebrations going on. And frankly, I'm amused at this whole concept of interim celebrations.
Sure.
I mean, this is nothing. This is nothing.
Right.
I mean, this is Pyrrhic. This is frankly meaningless. The second point, very critical. I believe that the debate that we are having, and I'm glad you're debating, these are sensitive issues, and why not have a very, full-on debate? The issue here, as you rightly said, is one about the fundamental right. Now, let me answer you, give you my personal answer. I don't have to buy into Malala Yousafzai. I'll give you my personal answer. I am a liberal, and whether in my religion of Hindu, which I am, or whether it's the Muslims, which I'm not, I recommend that the more
and you stand for hijab.
the more liberal we are, the better it is. However, there is a big difference here. That I also, as a liberal, I respect your right to have a different opinion from mine. So although I may feel, and I'm saying so on your show, that even I feel that if a lot of people, are probably exercising the option of having an hijab because they have no choice, they have been told by their parents or their communities, etc., I wish they had the freedom to exercise it without paying some kind of a social consequence. But if they have a right to wear hijab, I am no one. Neither are you. Neither is any great
Yes.
liberal on your program.
Let me point out, Sanjay Jha, you see, I never asked you a question which would in any way be ultra-virus of what is going on in the court. That's sub judice. The court will go into whether the hijab is essential. I never asked you that question at all. I was only talking about whether a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old. Look, we're not allowed to vote till we are 18 because we are considered impressionable. We are considered too unlettered, too, in some ways or the other, not worldly wise enough to understand the consequences of certain actions. And therefore, neither can we marry under the law, neither can we drive, neither can we drink, neither can we do a lot of things which the Constitution allows us to do. So I'm only asking you, sir. We can't even manage our own money, by the way. Beyond a point, Sanjay Jha. You can't manage your inheritance till you're under 18 because you're not supposed to be able to have the agency, the mental agency to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking you, how do you expect a 12 or a 13-year-old to know whether the hijab is good for them or not? Malala Yousafzai was a very precocious child. And she took a bullet. She took a bullet.
Rahul, the answer is very straightforward, which is why the right to vote assumes that an individual is independent of family and any kind of pressure when they choose a political party.
So where is the right of choice being exercised here by little girls? That's the question I'm trying to get at.
Now, 1 minute. By the same logic of your question, you know, all these young boys who are very aggressive and violent.
I want to bring in Monica Arora on this larger constitutional point. You see, I heard Mr. Pathan say, you know, we have the right, the freedom of making choices under the Constitution. Of course we have, but those rights are given to adults. Viewers, you can't even choose your parents. You can't even choose your parents under the law till you're 18. Forget about hijab. It's a fact. Go into civil law. And I think Monica Arora will endorse what I'm saying. That's point one. Point two, why are all these great liberals, and you know, Sanjay Jha is a liberal.
I'm proud of it.
I'm glad. So am I. I'm very proud of my liberal outlook. I just want to ask you, Sanjay Jha, if that is the case, which side of the liberal line would you stand on? Would you stand on the Malala pre 9th of February or the post 9th of February Malala line? You just tell me that.
I'm answering you. I'm a liberal, which is why, although I might personally wish that hijab, if somebody doesn't want to wear it, should not be forced to.
Okay.
I respect the decision to do that.
So but then let me ask you. Fair enough. Good question. Good comeback. So let me ask you point two. Fair enough. Yeah, sir. No one is saying, apart from of course your great General Secretary and the putative chief ministerial face of the Congress party who believes that the ghungat should also be worn. And a bikini in school. I don't know which school. Maybe there is a new Vadra International School that has opened in the Latian zone where they allow bikinis. I don't know. But really, I found it outlandish. But nonetheless, forget all that frippery. I want to ask you a simple question, Sanjay Jha. And it's a straight question tonight. Yeah. I always ask the straight and most basic questions of my guests. Sanjay Jha, when a party like the AIMM put up a poster to say, Pehle hijab, fir kitab, are they leaving room for choice? Simple question to you. Yes, no?
Well, I'll give you the answer to what Mr. Waris Pathan didn't tell you and what I think everyone here on this show should know. That both the AIMIM and the Bharatiya Janata Party are escalating this politics because of the elections that are on.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
And when Priyanka Gandhi Vadra says, wear the ghungat also with Elan, when her own chief minister is running a campaign against it, she is of course being liberal. Wow. Spectacular, spectacular. Anyhow, Monica Arora, just tell us, under the law, we had lost your audio at one point, under the law, right to choice, does it even apply when we are talking about minor girls.
Thank you, Rahul. Rahul, I'll quickly state 2 points. See, when somebody says liberal, and nowadays the term used is left liberal, then I don't know what to believe in. Because a leftist cannot be liberal, and a liberal cannot be leftist. Leftists were those who gobbled up Tibet, who had the Maoist revolution in China, who killed people in Russia because of their intolerance. So leftist liberal term itself is contradictory. So you are liberal, that means on what side of line and what do you stand for, I don't know. But yes, I celebrate my constitution every day. Being an advocate, being a lawyer, I celebrate it. And I often tell to the youngsters and all the panelists also, when we talk about Article 25, for God's sake, read this one phrase. It is not just one line, freedom of religion. It's absolute. No. This Article 25 says that right to freedom of religion, it's subject to public order, public morality, public health.
Well, that matter, I don't want to go into right now, Monica ji. I don't want to go into that. That matter is actually sub judice. Let the court decide that. But I understand where you're coming from, and it's a valid point to make because it's not going to prejudice this case. But I don't want to presage Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or what the court is saying. But that's a very fine argument you're making, especially the one about choice. I want to move on now